Welcome to the Past in Pictures channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. A boy enjoys ice cream while sitting on a stranded naval mine on the beach at Deal, Kent in February 1940 during World War II. This scene shows daily life shaped by the conflict when sea mines were used to prevent invasions and affected civilian life and safety in British coastal areas. The Chernobyl nuclear event, which happened on April 26, 1986, was one of the most serious events in history, releasing high levels of radiation across vast areas. The liquidators, like the ones shown, were essential in containing the effects and organizing the evacuation of the affected population. The SS Morro Castle caught fire and sank off the coast of New Jersey in 1934, creating one of the most notable maritime episodes in the United States during the 1930s. This event had a major impact on passenger ship safety and led to strict changes in prevention and rescue rules. Martin Luther King Jr. removing a burning cross from his yard in 1960 symbolizes resistance against racism and intimidation carried out by an extremist group in the United States. This act marked the civil rights struggle and showed the challenges leaders faced in the fight for racial equality. Neurological procedures in the early 20th century, such as the brain operation of 1920, represented crucial advances in neurosurgery. Despite technical limits and major challenges, improved tools and methods marked vital progress for complex treatments and influenced future medical practices. German soldiers celebrate Easter during World War II with decorated eggs and messages to the German leader, symbolizing propaganda and internal morale under the German government between 1939 and 1945. This practice reinforced praise of leadership and ideological influence during the conflict. Jesse Owens, saluting the American flag after winning gold at the 1936 Olympics in Germany, challenged the racial ideology promoted by the German government. His victory was a landmark of resistance and equality in sports during a tense and oppressive political moment. The urban scene captured in Kabul in 1979 takes place at the moment Afghanistan was facing the Soviet invasion, which began in December of that year. That event triggered a prolonged war, deeply changing the country's social and political life and marking a peak moment of the Cold War in the region. During preparations for Apollo 17 in 1972, technicians adjust the spacesuit of a United States Space Agency astronaut before the lunar mission. During the trip, the crew asked for a small piece of hook and loop fastener inside the helmet to relieve nose itching, a detail that reveals the practical challenges of space exploration. Life aboard a German submarine in 1916 showed both the challenges and the technological advances of World War I when the use of U-boats transformed naval warfare. These secret vessels changed strategy, increased the impact of blockades, and affected the course of the global conflict. The motorcyclist from the Royal Dutch Army Band, serving between 1939 and 1940, lived through the beginning of World War II, when the Netherlands came under German control on May 10, 1940. That advance accelerated Allied resistance and marked a difficult period that influenced the course of the global conflict. Manfred von Richthofen, known as the Red Baron, was a German fighter pilot in World War I, active in 1917. His skill and leadership left a mark on military aviation, making him a legendary figure. His actions influenced air strategy and symbolized aerial combat in the conflict. Myron Dajo became famous in the 1940s by challenging medicine through extreme demonstrations with metal objects, without showing immediate visible harm. His case intrigued specialists and contributed to debates about human limits and unexplained phenomena, mixing science with public fascination. Restrained prisoners push a cart at Dartmoor Prison, England, in 1890, portraying the harsh conditions of the Victorian prison system. Dartmoor symbolizes the era of tougher imprisonment and the British effort to control urban disorder during the Industrial Revolution. In the United States in 1954, the way and custom at Pomona College reflected social and academic practices that objectified women, especially in relation to male sports teams. This situation reveals the norms and challenges of women's integration into college life at a time when patriarchal culture still dominated. Alfonso de Portago, a Formula One driver known in the 1950s, was at the center of a memorable event in Italy in 1957 when he died shortly after this final farewell. His story revealed the major dangers of motor racing at the time and led to significant changes in competition safety rules. In the 1940s, devices called slenderizing machines promised to reshape the female figure, reflecting the growing value placed on certain beauty standards. This search for the ideal appearance marked an era that mixed technological advances with strict social expectations, influencing habits and ideals for many decades. Jamie Lee Curtis, an actress who stood out in horror films and comedies, appears at the Photoplay Award ceremony in 1979, an event that celebrated influential movie stars. This moment marks the peak of Curtis's career in that decade, reflecting entertainment culture in the 1970s when Hollywood was establishing young icons and bold fashion styles. Mexican soldiers carrying out a tactical maneuver in 1913 highlight a crucial moment of the Mexican Revolution, the conflict that overthrew the rule of Porfirio Diaz and pushed forward major social reforms. This civil war influenced important political and social changes in 20th century Mexico. Brigitte Bardot, at 18 years old, dances on a Paris rooftop in 1952, a moment that marks the beginning of her rise in French cinema. That decade was crucial for France's post-World War II cultural rebuilding, with Bardot symbolizing the transformation of youth in fashion and influencing global trends in pop culture. American women took on crucial roles in the war industry during World War II, working as welders in weapons factories and naval shipyards. This participation represented a major social change and pushed forward women's inclusion in the workforce. South of Arkansas City, Kansas, on September 14th and 15th, 1893, groups wait for the Cherokee Strip Land Run, one of the largest land rushes in United States history. The opening of the area attracted thousands of settlers. The event sped up the occupation of the West and increased pressure on indigenous lands. Chief Dustmaker, leader of the Ponca tribe in northern Nebraska in 1898, represents a crucial stage of indigenous history in the United States, marked by forced displacement caused by American government assimilation policies. His portrait documents cultural resistance in a setting of territorial loss. Mikhail Gorbachev's resignation on December 25, 1991, marked the end of the Soviet Union, closing the Cold War and causing deep political and social changes around the world. In that moment, broadcast on television, families witnessed the collapse of a regime that shaped much of the 20th century. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro appear together in a scene from The Godfather Part II, a film released in 1974 that established the crime drama genre in world cinema. The work portrays the expansion of illegal networks in the United States and influenced cultural discussions about power and tension. Thomas Clissold, who was responsible for cooking on the Terra Nova expedition, led by Robert Falcon Scott, leads an emperor penguin with a rope in 1911. That British expedition aimed to reach the South Pole before Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen, marking one of the most memorable chapters of the heroic age of polar exploration. Haruo Nakajima and Momoko Kochi took part in the production of Godzilla in 1954, a landmark film in Japanese cinema that brought forward post-war themes and atomic fears that arose after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The work shaped the kaiju genre and reflected the impact of the nuclear age on popular culture. becoming a major historical landmark of the period. The improvised repair on the fender of the lunar roving vehicle using maps and a clamp reflects the difficulties faced on Apollo 17 on December 12, 1972, the last crewed mission to the moon. This episode shows the human ability to adapt and the importance of that mission in expanding lunar knowledge. Lana Turner was one of the biggest stars of American cinema in the 1950s, a symbol of glamour and Hollywood's golden age. Her image in 1955 reflects the peak of her career, marked by roles in classic films that influenced pop culture and strengthened worldwide interest in American movies. In 1913, in the Panama Canal zone, workers moved forward with excavation and concrete lining on the locks that would connect the Atlantic to the Pacific. The project, completed with its opening in 1914, shortened sea routes between continents. It faced disease and logistical challenges and became a landmark of 20th century engineering. Construction of the Golden Gate Bridge began on January 5, 1933, marking a notable engineering achievement and symbolizing economic recovery during the Great Depression in the United States. This suspension bridge, opened on May 27, 1937, became a worldwide icon. The construction of the Sydney Opera House in the 1970s marked a pioneering advance in modernist architecture and structural design. Its iconic shell-like shape symbolizes Australian cultural identity, making it a major global artistic and tourist landmark, as well as a symbol of innovation and urban development in Sydney. Production of the Star Wars saga began in 1975 under the direction of George Lucas, revolutionizing the movie industry with innovative visual effects and an epic science fiction story. Its release in 1977 transformed the genre and influenced pop culture globally, establishing a historic milestone in cinema. In 1980, a scene from The Empire Strikes Back shows Darth Vader in one of the technological sets that expanded the visual scale of the Star Wars saga. The film premiered on May 21st and established the series as a benchmark for science fiction in cinema. Its effects, sets, and characters left a mark on popular culture worldwide. The costume test for the flying monkey in the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz marks an important moment in movie history because of its pioneering use of special effects and fantasy design. The production influenced generations by improving the visual and storytelling experience of classic fantasy films. Charlie Chaplin and the young actor Jackie Coogan starred in The Kid in 1921, a pioneering film that joined comedy and drama in silent cinema. The success of the work influenced the development of movie storytelling and established Chaplin as one of the greatest figures in world cinema during that era. Pablo Picasso, in his studio in Cannes in 1956, was producing works that strengthened his influence on artistic modernism. This setting symbolizes the artist's mature phase when he explored ceramics and paintings with intense creative freedom, shaping trends that would echo through global contemporary art. Raquel Welch stood out as a cultural symbol in the 1970s with her role in the film Bluebeard, released in 1972, a work that marked American cinema by blending suspense and drama. This phase reflected social and artistic changes and pushed forward debates about female representation in the media. Natalie Portman in high school in 1999 stands out within a cultural context shaped by the end of the 20th century, a period that came just before major changes in global cinema and pop culture. The late 1990s revealed a generation connected to new technologies and social change. Marilyn Monroe visited members of the American Armed Forces during the Korean War between 1950 and 1953, bringing moral support to service members in operational areas. Her interactions, such as asking about the use of protective equipment, symbolized cultural engagement and the importance of keeping spirits high during a period shaped by Cold War tension. Xi Jinping at 9 years old is pictured beside his father and brother in 1962, a period marked by re-education campaigns during the Chinese Cultural Revolution. That phase shaped his political outlook and future leadership, influencing the path that would later strengthen the Communist Party of China in the country. Young punks in Estonia in 1980 symbolized cultural resistance during the Soviet era. The punk movement expressed rejection of authoritarian control and ideological repression, marking an effort toward identity and social protest in an oppressive political context. This subculture influenced future generations of dissidents. A motorcycle gathering in Wisconsin brings together iconic models such as Triumph, Indian, and Harley-Davidson, reflecting post-war culture in the 1950s. That era marked the growth of motorcycle subcultures in the United States, symbolizing freedom and youthful rebellion that would influence the popular imagination around the world. Fans watched a Chicago Cubs game outside Wrigley Field in 1932, a year marked by the Great Depression in the United States, which increased the importance of sports as popular entertainment, bringing communities together and offering relief from the widespread economic crisis. Swedish General Axel Nordlander won 2 gold medals in equestrian events during the Stockholm Olympic Games in 1912. That edition marked the official debut of the modern pentathlon, created to test complete versatility, influencing Olympic sport by valuing the broad preparation of competitors. Theodore Roosevelt, shown in 1904, was the 26th President of the United States and a major leader known for social progress and a forceful foreign policy, including his role in Panama and the growth of the conservation movement. This colorized photograph records a crucial phase of his presidency. Women wearing formal early 20th century clothing hold signs with the phrase, "I wish Ma could vote," reflecting the struggle for women's suffrage in the United States. This movement reached its high point with the ratification of the 19th Amendment on August 18, 1920, guaranteeing women the right to vote, a crucial milestone for political equality in the country. Photographer Louis Wicks. Hine recorded young newsboys in Boston at 5 o'clock in the morning, symbolizing early labor realities in the early 20th century. His images pushed forward labor reforms in the United States and contributed to the creation of laws that limited abuse and protected workers' rights. Workers in a Harley-Davidson factory in the 1920s contributed to the growth of the American motorcycle industry. This period marked the expansion of mass production, boosting mobility and urban culture during the Jazz Age and influencing the economic and social development of the United States. The USS Oregon, a United States Navy warship, stood out in the Spanish-American War in 1898 by taking part in the famous passage around Cape Horn. The reference to 1897 places the setting just before that conflict, which marked American naval projection and the country's expansion as a global power. Arthur Clarence Pillsbury, a pioneer of photography, posed in 1916 beside the Studebaker 6 at Glacier Point in Yosemite, a high place with stunning views. This historical record illustrates technical advances and the fascination with scenic exploration, promoting nature tourism and environmental conservation in the United States. The draining and cleaning of Venice's canals in 1956 represented a crucial effort to preserve the historic city, which faces constant threats from rising water and pollution. This intervention was essential for maintaining the structural and cultural integrity of its monuments and ensuring the continuity of Venetian heritage. The 1927 expedition that studied the mortuary temple of Ramesses III was essential for decoding ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and opened the door to understanding pharaonic civilization. That pioneering archaeological work revealed cultural and religious aspects of ancient Egypt and influenced modern Egyptology. The Alcazar of Segovia, set on a rocky cliff in Spain, is a medieval fortress whose origin goes back to the 12th century. Its strategic and architectural importance influenced many European structures and inspired historic castles, serving as a symbol of Spanish resistance and monarchical power during the Middle Ages. In 1924, a human chess game in St. Petersburg illustrated cultural creativity in post-revolutionary Russia, when the country was trying to rebuild its social identity after the 1917 revolution. The use of uniforms and horses symbolized the relationship between tradition and modernity in the Soviet Union. The sign in Cyrillic for store number 20 indicates the sale of meat and fish in an urban center of the Soviet Union. This type of state-run business was a central part of the planned economy to guarantee supplies for the population. Everyday street life reflected the organization of consumption under Soviet government management. In Palma, Spain, in 1959, Christer Stromholm photographs a bohemian area in black and white with people moving beside worn walls. In the post-war years, during Francisco Franco's rule, urban life existed alongside social control and inequality. The image documents customs, work, and changes in the city's landscape. Gold miners in Rockerville, South Dakota, were extracting gold in 1889, an important period of the gold rush in the western United States. This activity drove regional economic growth and attracted migrants in search of fortune, shaping American history and territorial expansion. Loggers in California used large wooden wheels to transport heavy logs in 1895, a time when the lumber industry was growing because of expanding railroads and urban markets. This manual method was vital before mechanization and influenced settlement and regional economic growth. In the rural United States in the 1940s, a mobile library served remote communities by bringing books directly to families. The vehicle worked as an extension of the public library and expanded access to reading in rural areas. The effort helped encourage literacy, study, and the spread of information. The launch of Ford's car television in 1965 marked an innovation in automotive entertainment by introducing portable television sets into cars. This technology changed the travel experience and anticipated the growing integration between media and vehicles, reflecting the advances in technology-driven consumer culture of the 1960s in the United States. Artist George Gross, in 1919, dressed as a dark figure to criticize the trauma of World War I and the chaos of post-war Germany. His work highlighted the social and political consequences of the conflict, influencing expressionist art and criticism of authoritarianism and inequality. Earl Pauley celebrates Christmas in 1936 at his home near Smithfield, Iowa, in front of a modest dinner of potatoes, cabbage, and pie, reflecting the hardships of the Great Depression. This setting reveals the severe economic crisis that affected millions and changed traditions and family values in the United States. In Oregon, in August 1939, an unemployed lumber worker appears during the bean harvest, where he went with his wife in search of income. On his arm, he has his Social Security number tattooed. The photo records the effects of the Great Depression on families who migrated in search of temporary work. Charles Pierce recorded a Mexican wedding in San Jose, New Mexico, a setting where local traditions gained visibility in the early 20th century. Those ceremonies preserved Hispanic culture and influenced regional identity, strengthening community ties amid social change. A Hami Muslim woman from Xinjiang, China, photographed in 1875, reflects the cultural diversity of the 19th century during the Qing dynasty. This strategic region, a crossroads between China and Central Asia, faced ethnic and religious tensions that shaped its complex history. The 1922 photograph records a motorhome and trailer with a pioneering design in German recreational mobility. This innovation made leisure travel easier by promoting freedom and comfort on the road, reflecting the growing value of tourism and automobiles in post-World War I Europe. In 1953 in England, Contests like Knobbly Knees reflected post-war humor and popular culture, a period marked by economic recovery and a search for simple entertainment. Events like these helped strengthen social unity and community spirit in a society under reconstruction. Swimwear fashion at the turn of the 20th century showed the social conservatism of the Belle Époque, a period marked by growing interest in leisure and public health. The idea of sex appeal was beginning to change, with more fitted clothing and styles that reflected major cultural changes in Europe and the United States. The text highlights stereotyped traits assigned to different nationalities, such as Canadian calmness or Norwegian generosity, reflecting a European cultural view established in the 20th century. That kind of representation contributed to collective ideas about national identities in a world marked by growing globalization. In the early 1960s, people dance in a nightclub, in a hall with live music or recorded music, reflecting the growing popularity of urban leisure spaces. These places helped spread rock and soul and created new social habits among young people and adults. Teenagers used to gather in phone booths as a form of social entertainment before the internet became popular. In 1959, this habit reflected a youth culture that valued in-person meetings and direct communication, marking a pre-digital era when the public telephone was a central part of community interaction. A cooking class in 1935 at Chevy Chase High School in Bethesda reflects domestic education aimed at young women during the Great Depression. This educational practice tried to prepare them for the traditional family role, influencing social and economic issues during the effort to regain post-crisis stability. In 1911, a ham radio station brings together coils, wires, tubes, and dials in one of the earliest examples of home wireless communication. These devices were assembled by enthusiasts and helped expand long-distance transmission experiments. Radio would open the way for new information networks in the 20th century. The presence of the bar and lounge called Golden Dollar, with its dancers in bold outfits, reflects cultural liberalization and the peak of nightlife in the 1970s, especially in American cities. This kind of place symbolized social change and new forms of entertainment that gained space during that period. Men work with heavy metal equipment near double-decker buses, reflecting industrial routine and public transportation in an English-speaking urban setting in the early 20th century. That period marked progress in urban mobility and intensified industrialization, transforming daily life and the local economy. The photo points to the post-bicentennial period in the United States, when national history and the restoration of historic landmarks were strongly valued. In Boston, a center of events from the American Revolution, that renewal helped preserve cultural identity and attract tourism to the historic city. Pelé's bicycle kick at Maracanã Stadium in 1965 marked an iconic moment in Brazilian and world soccer. The play highlighted Brazilian skill and creativity, establishing Pelé as a legend of the sport and raising Maracanã as a temple of soccer and a symbol of national culture. Billy Clanton, Frank, and Tom McClory lost their lives on October 26, 1881 in the streets of Tombstone in the legendary OK Corral gunfight. This clash between armed men became one of the most famous episodes of the American Old West, symbolizing the harshness of the law and the territorial expansion of the United States. Ike Clanton was a notorious figure of the American frontier, known for his involvement with the group called the Cowboys in Tombstone, Arizona, during the late 19th century. His life was marked by repeated episodes of violence and tension in the expansion of the Old West, influencing frontier myth and popular culture. The slogan, "We will not fight another rich man's war," reflects the anti-military feeling of protests in the 1970s, shaped by the movement against the Vietnam War in the United States. Those protests expanded the debate over social justice and military intervention. The Beautiful Legs contest held at Palisades Park in 1951 highlighted the style and beauty standards of the time, reflecting popular culture and entertainment in the decades after World War II. Events like this influenced ideas about beauty and the role of women in American society, marking a period of social and cultural change. Signs with words like general and references to YE 1949 point to the immediate post-World War II context when British cities like London intensified urban rebuilding and economic revitalization. Areas such as Bishopsgate and Euston Road were part of the financial and cultural center. Children dressed in old-fashioned clothes and a United States Navy hat suggest a United States setting in the early decades of the 20th century, when Easter was celebrated with illustrated postcards. These cards helped strengthen family values and popular culture during a period of major social and technological change.